All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Coffee Q&A, our daily live stream here at 10 a.m. on Eastern Time, and about coffee and whatever you want to talk about. We will talk about coffee and stuff like that. But today is our penultimate episode of 2023 because, as you might know already, we are going to end our daily live streams for this year with tomorrow's live stream because I've got to go and tear apart this whole building and move out and find a new location and then move in there and rebuild. But we'll be back as soon as we possibly can for the daily live stream. But of course, stuff on the channel will continue. So how's everyone doing this morning? Everything's going well? All right, excellent. Excellent. So today we've got a brewer here that I never saw before and I've never really seen since. And this is called the it's called the Chorreador de Cafe. And it's from a company called Habia Una Vez in Costa Rica. And I was down in Costa Rica, came across it at this coffee shop, and I was like, you know what, this is very interesting looking. Let me get it because I've just never seen it before. And a little bit about this brewer. Good morning, Wilson. How are you? Good to have you with us. The Chorreador de Cafe is actually a type of brewer that's really popular in Costa Rica, and it basically is a nail type of filter, like a cloth type filter that is suspended with a wooden stand, and you place your coffee in the filter, the cup goes below, pour the water through. I mean, it's essentially like a traditional, original, indigenous pour over type of thing. And it's really interesting to see as you travel the world and you go to different nations, how similar coffee brewing approaches are. Like in Japan and in Asia, we have the nail drip. We have Taiwan, China, Philippines. They all use some kind of fabric sock. You move over to places like Ethiopia, they're still using socks. Africa, there's socks. Central America, socks. Everywhere you go, people are using cloth socks. And it's really interesting to see how people of different cultures in different parts of the world all somehow came to using very similar apparatus to brew coffee. Baldhead, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Michael's here with us. Maybe we can see your entire coffee brewing collection after you move during your unpacking. Oh, for sure. Actually, what I'm planning on doing is after tomorrow's live stream, I'm planning on shooting a video that will show everything that we have here, like the kind of how the setup is. I mean, there are different parts of the facility that are in different states of being torn apart, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting to show a quick video. Maybe it'll last like 15 minutes or so, just kind of showing everyone of the facility, what we had here. As far as a lot of the brewing equipment, a lot of that is already packed. I've got boxes and boxes. Like it's really shocking. Like at my house, everything's stacked up. It's really bad. It's fairly bad. It's embarrassing. And Dan's with us. Good morning, Dan. How are you doing today? Oh, and loves the nail drip. Excellent. So this is the Habia Una Vez, or the Chorreador de Cafe. Now this is a company. Habia Una Vez is a company that is making products with an artisanal approach, or they're designing products that get kind of pay respect to the artisanal origins of what they're making, but also doing it in a more modern manner. So as you can see here by the illustration, the shape is a little bit different. If you saw the thumbnail for this live stream, you'll see that it's quite a bit different looking. So let's get it out here. And here it is, the Chorreador. Oh, we need one more part. We also need the cap. There's a cap that comes with it. We'll go through a quick tour of this. But as you can see, it's a really interesting looking brewing device, right? It's got this, it's all ceramic. It's got a leather wrap here, and then wood lid, wood cap here for the spout, and wood base, which does not come out. And it does say Habia Una Vez here at the bottom, the laser etched in there. You can see the leather. I think it's quite an attractive looking brewer. And on the inside, as you can see, there's a nail type of drip, a little, cotton sock that has a wood handle. I think it's just a pretty device. And so once you're finished brewing, you'll take that out, and then now there's a cork line cap that actually fits pretty snug. Right, look at that. Oh, okay, maybe not that snug. Well, snug enough. And then I imagine that because it's ceramic, it will transfer heat pretty well. So, oh goodness. Okay, we're not gonna do that anymore. They have this nice little piece of leather here that you can take off, right, for cleaning, and then you could easily pour it. So I've never used this, so let's do a little bit of housekeeping with it. I've had people complain that, oh, you don't clean your brewers when they're new, and it's, well, okay, that's true, I didn't. But this one has been sitting around. I think I got this back in 2017, so it's been around for a long time. I've never used it. As you can see from this filter, I've never used it. Actually, and to be honest with you, I'm really this kind of person that hates to like soil things. Like this is pristine. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's clean. It's lovely. Like, do I want to put coffee and brew in it because it'll like make it ugly? And especially if I'm only going to do it once. And one of the potential problems with cloth filters is once you start using them, if you don't really maintain them, they can start to impart maybe off flavors of some sort, maybe some acidities, or, there's some things, especially from the Japanese lessons that I've learned. It's like, you always got to keep them moist. You always have to keep them somehow. So we would keep the nail drips in. If they're not an active service, they would always be wet or moist. They would be in the refrigerator or frozen. Actually, freezing will dry it out. So I don't know why we did that, but maybe put into a bag and keep it. But there's always some kind of maintenance that's required. So to be honest with you, I'm not going to use this one today. I'm going to take it and I'm going to use a nail drip that we've been using. So this is what it's going to have. We're going to fit that into here, which will fit. It will fit. Like, so for example, I can just slide that in there, and then we should have enough coffee that it should work, right? Michael says, oh, that looks pretty nice. Nice proportions and cool touch. Yeah, I think it's really a pretty brewer. I saw it at the store, and I don't remember how much it cost. Maybe it wasn't cheap, maybe it was, but I was like, I gotta go buy that. I'm gonna buy that. I didn't even have a YouTube channel then. I was just like, oh, we're just gonna buy that because I think it's cool. Maybe I'll put it on display and like have it, hanging up on the wall. But really, it was just sitting on a shelf in its box. So that did not work out. Okay, so let's have a look at what the recipe they suggest on the box. Hand wash, do not use ground coffee, hot water, 2 to 4 minutes. Oh, so basically what we do. So they don't really tell us too much about, one moment, guys. Let me address this issue that could be coming up in a moment. There we go. The power to the laptop had not been properly attached, and it was like, we're gonna go, and it's like, we're gonna lose power in a few minutes. I was like, oh, that would be bad. So what else do we need to know? But it does come with some accessories. Actually, not really many accessories, but it does come with an extra filter with a handle, so it's not like you have to put it together. Now, one of the things about these is that, as you can see, with it is a what do you call it? It is basically a metal ring that has the fabric sewn around. So the nice thing about this type of brewer is that once you run out, or once you reach the point that the fabric is deteriorated, you can just sew another piece. Like, you can go to the fabric store like Joann's, buy some similar type of cotton flannel material, cut it up, and like, if you look at these are really simply done. Like, you can see here by the patterning of of the stitching, that these are used on serger type of sewing machines. However, you don't need to use a serger, right? And a serger is basically this sewing machine that has 4 thread spools, and when you take 2 pieces of fabric, right? You put them together, and then you run them through the serger. And what the serger does, it will overstitch. And so it'll cut an edge from the fabric while overstitching the new edge to keep it from fraying and to lock the 2 together. How do I know about serging machines? I learned it from the days when I was in hula and making pa'us for the girls. Go figure. Anyway, so they're relatively easy to make. The hard part is just going to be fitting them onto the ring, right? Yeah, maybe fitting them onto the ring, and then. Now, I guess you could like this one. You can see on this Hario, it is just a bent piece of metal. So what you could do is you could, like here, they stitch with a regular sewing machine a little channel, so you can just kind of scooch it on there, right? Mom, good to see you. Good to see you and have you with us today. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use our typical recipe of 24 grams of coffee. Now, one of the things I realized this morning is that I actually don't have any Costa Rican coffee here at the moment. Like, I've got all this coffee. I shoved it in this big bag and took it to the house. I've got all this stuff at the house now. So, like, I'd say about 3/4 of everything that I have for brewing is actually at the house now. And then there's some of it that I've been leaving here just for this occasion. And so I think I have some roasted Costa Rican at the house, but I didn't even think about it till this morning. So what we're going to go for a coffee that's as close as possible to Costa Rica. So we're going to go to Nicaragua for the Pear Notes Micro Lot. This was roasted like yesterday's coffee. This is roasted by Matt from Park and Perk. Actually, when we were doing the cupping a couple months back, we did a live cupping with coffees from Nicaragua. I really liked, actually, this is my second favorite coffee. This was Matt's favorite coffee. I liked another one more. But this will be nice. This will be a nice way to go. And we're going to get into it now. So some of the stuff that I read online about making the, what's it called? Cafe Chorreado? Anyway, the Tico coffee is that they would use 10 grams for 6 ounces. So a little bit less than we would use, but somewhat the same. So we're just going to go and make our typical 12-ounce coffee with 24 grams of coffee to 350 grams of water. All right, let us, I could probably zoom in more, right? There we go. Oh, my battery is running out finally. Okay, let's just turn this way. I think we get better results when I turn it that way, right? Okay, so let's get some. Yesterday's brew was a little bit long, so we're going to go a little bit more coarse. One of the things that, like, I know people have asked me in the past, like, well, when you make an adjustment, how much do you adjust? To be honest with you, I really don't know. I really go by feel now. It's like, okay, so here was slow. Maybe here will be faster. Maybe we just need a little bit faster. Or maybe we need a lot faster, right? I don't have a hardcore, like, delineated way of doing that. Okay, so let us get our brewer. We've done a little bit of rinsing, so it's nice and clean. We're going to take our nail drip. This is Japan meets Costa Rica. And we're going to fit that. Hopefully this will all fit. Oh, no, it doesn't. We're going to make that work. I'm going to shove it in here. All right. That looks good. Let's reset our timer. You can see the time. I mean, the clock. I mean, you can see the, what do you call this? The scale. Timer's ready. Oop. Oh, we got to boil it. Make sure our water is boiling. Mom, did I say hello to you? I hope so. Man, I don't know how it is where you guys are. Mom, I expect it's probably the same for you. And Craig, I think it's probably worse for where you are, I'm presuming. But man, it is cold here. We're like at 28 degrees. We are finally below. So what's that, like 2, 3 below? 2, maybe 2 below on Celsius? Man, it's cold again. I've got my flannel on. I'm thinking about going clay shooting. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the weekend. Because, we've been talking about this for the last few months. Like, how do we stay warm during clays? I got some gloves. I got some shooting gloves. But I don't know about the rest. I did bust out and clean my flannel-lined jeans, which I've never worn. Like, I bought them a couple years back. I was like, oh, these fit. But, it hasn't been as cold, or I haven't been in conditions where I needed to be out for a long time. So I'm just wearing some blue khakis and some hush puppy shoes today. Mom's loving the weather. Oh, nice. I'm miserable. I'm miserable out there. I'm miserable. I got my big Carhartt. Although I got some, that's the one nice thing about this time. You can wear some nicer gear. Like I got the flannel. I got the Carhartt. Right. I look like a linesman. Electric, not football. So one of the things about this approach, so you were asking, I think it was Eric that was asking before, like, what am I thinking about? Like right now we're really full, right? So we really can't raise the height too much because really here's the coffee line, and this is the top. Right here is the edge and the top. So we really are right at the very edge of the capacity. Now, one of the things that this is going to be true whether or not I was using the nail or this. Like this really, I mean, this is longer, so actually it probably would fit more readily because it is longer. But anyway, let us begin. Let us begin our brewing. So now I'm just going to pulse just to start to give some, just to wet the bed, right? So we're at 16 grams. We know that it starts to really flow at about 25. So now we're fully saturated. Why do I pulse? I think Eric was the one that asked me, why do you pulse? I mean, now that I think about it, I think it looks cool. Why do we pulse? Because we look cool. Looks like we know what we're doing. Looks like we have some mastery over our brewing. Really? Who knows? Okay, so now this is well saturated. So I'm going to just now pour more, just a little more steady. I'm raising the level right to the edge. We can see that it's getting pretty white. Aztec, good to see you, man. Welcome to duty. Good to have you with us. We are brewing with the Habia Una Vez Chorreador de Café, which is a take on a traditional type of Costa Rican style of coffee brewing. But I am using the Harionel drip filter in lieu of the filter that comes with it because, I just don't want to make the other one dirty. But I expect we will have very similar results. So now we're about minute 30. So really, I would like to be at 150 grams by this point. So we're a little bit behind. Now, one of the things I put a little bit too much here, so there's a little bit of coffee right there. So I'm going to push that back into the center. That little push was like a boss, wasn't it? So Michael wants to know, when you're observing the color white when brewing, what does that mean? Um, what does that mean? So I guess if we're taking this from the lessons that we learned from espresso brewing, it means that we've already extracted all of the flavor or all the components out of the coffee. And so that's probably what's on top. What's down below is still flowing. I'm just theorizing. I really don't have any solid knowledge here. All right, so we're 2 minutes 33 seconds, 189. We are behind. We are definitely behind. So we could have gone coarser. So that little adjustment was probably not enough. But we don't want to. But we want to take our time. We don't want to rush it. So I would say that the white is that everything that's on top has probably gotten most of the goodness extracted for it. And then the rest is just because it's all flowing downwards. Again, this is just theory. Loosely and very coarsely and unscientifically based on my observations with espresso. Now, also, we will notice this kind of color change in a regular, let's say V60, but usually that color change comes farther into the brew. 256, 330, we are definitely way behind our ideal time. 2 to 4 minutes is what the Habia Una Vez says. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to 4 minutes is what I like to say. And Michael says, yeah, I'm seeing the light brown as you gently pour it in the center and white on the surface. Yeah, when you brew with other devices that have wider surfaces, usually I don't see this whiteness happening until farther into the brew cycle. So 299, 4 minutes. Come on, baby, come on. This is where I get angsty because it's like I want to go faster. Like I'm still stuck in this mentality of it must be under 4 minutes. Otherwise, it's going to be over extracted or something's going to be wrong with it. Even though I kind of know intuitively that may not necessarily be the case. 349. Come on, baby. 350. There we go. All right. Like with espresso, I don't really worry about time as much. I look at the signs. All right, let's pull this out. Come on now. Oh, yeah. Put that over here. And here is our brew. Look at that. It's all self-contained. Can't really see it, but we're going to put the cap on. Let me push that. Oh, it does push down. Okay, so it does push down. There is still a gap where the handle would come out of. But now we can take this, open it up, and pour this into our cup for a little bit of evaluation. Oh, there we go. We're back to our lighter clarity here and just nice and clean and clear. That's really pretty, actually. Ooh, that's a nice warm tones. The aromas are friendly and stuffy. Definitely juicy. There's some of that bitterness. I don't know what it is. Lately with the coffees, I'm noticing that we're getting more bitterness at the outset when it's still hot. And that tends to cool. That tends to change as it cools. But I'm finding it kind of fascinating that a lot of the coffees we're tasting are more bitter at the beginning than later. That's something I have never really thought about or necessarily have observed. And not that I thought about it. So there's a juiciness to the coffee. And it's from that what's it called? Pear notes. Pear notes got a lot of pear notes because it's got definitely pear characters. Like actually, right now it has. If you guys have ever bitten into Asian pears, like Korean pears, you know those pears you get at the Korean markets, right? And there's that's particular juiciness and acidity and like kind of light pear. Like if you get like Western pears, like the big pear-shaped pears, that has a sweeter pear, like obvious pearness. This, the ones that I get from South Korea, they have a less forward pronounced pearness, like this, but it's sweeter, it's lighter, it's not sweeter, but it's lightly sweet, it's lighter bodied, it's also more brighter, right? That's very reminiscent of what I'm getting at the moment. Huh. Not bad. Actually, it tastes kind of fun. And even though it took like what, close to 5 minutes. Something I'm thinking about from the time when we get back next year is to look at glasses, like wine glasses, right? I was reading today more about wine glasses. And like this is more of a Burgundy, Cabernet type of glass. It's a little bit spotty. And, this group in Japan has done a study where they actually come to learn and scientifically prove that there are certain types of esters that are shaped by the shape of the glass. So Riedel's not just making it all up. There's actually truly scientific data now to prove these theories. And I'm wondering how those might impact the coffee experience. So when we come back from our break, that's going to be one of the episodes for sure. All right, we're going to let that cool down a little bit more. I'm going to pour a little bit more. I'm actually kind of enjoying that. It's got a pear. It's kind of light. It's fruity, but light, like acidic fruit, brightness. I'm going to let that cool down a little bit. So yesterday I went out to a place called the Filling Station. My friends have been telling me about it. It's been in our area for many, many years. And I haven't been there in many years as well. And so I decided, I'm going to go drive up there, check it out. My friends, because we're talking about this one space that I'm looking at and how we might cultivate. It's actually the space. It's actually the location that I'm really favoring. If we can get it, I'll be very pleased. And I went there. It's very nice. It's kind of in the countryside. It's far away. It's kind of rustic looking. But what really struck me was not the coffee was, honestly, the coffee was just okay. I just got the regular house blend. So there was two choices, a regular house blend and then a premium, which she described as a darker roast. And I was like, that does not sound premium to me. Like, I don't want you to go darker. I want you to go lighter. The regular was a nice medium roast, and not bad, just kind of average coffee, but nice, pleasant, right? So something you could still drink and enjoy black. And then I asked her, so what's the pastry you would recommend to go with it? And they do a par baked, or they get a par baked, and they finish off chocolate croissant, which was very pleasant, a little bit soft, right? I like a flaky on the exterior, really soft in the crumb. I like it to be a little bit more flaky on the crumb than soft. Evidently, their most popular pastry is the almond croissant. But anyway, that was really not the point. For me, it was like this young woman. I just liked her. Like, she was just so friendly, so welcoming, so nice. I don't know if she knows a ton about coffee. And I don't think she's been. I think she's been working there after the pandemic. But just such a nice personality, welcoming, and that to me is like the ultimate or the ideal type of person for a coffee or hospitality kind of experience. You want someone that has good character, has good empathy for people, that can like talk to people and welcome them, and part of me was like, I wish I would like to find someone like her, or maybe if she needs a new job, if we open this new place, she wants to come find a new place to work. I'd be happy to have someone like that because, there's just something, right? There's no attitude, there's no pretense, just really warm, welcoming, inviting, friendly. To me, that's most of the journey right there, is to find people that are like that, because anyone can make coffee. It's relatively easy for me to teach coffee. Like I remember many years ago, right before we opened Spro Hamden, the store in the city, we brought in all these baristas, and they're all really nice young people. They all turned out to be great. Well, majority of them turned out to be great. But I remember this one girl who was my favorite. Who, honestly, she was my favorite of the entire group. And I remember, but she was having such a tough time. Like everything about her, with her presence, just made me feel happy, comfortable, warm. That's what I really liked about her, was that, she had a really nice character and personality that all the guests just felt really great being around her. And she was just very casual and easygoing, and she was but she was really good. I mean, well, she became very good at being a barista. And she's gone on to do amazing and wonderful stuff in the larger food service arena. So I'm very excited for her, very proud of what she's achieved. But I remember one day we're trying to teach certain things, and she just was having a tough time getting it. And I was just like, this is my thing. It's like I'll get frustrated, like, because I'm trying to teach. As a teacher, I am trying to find the easiest way for you to understand what I'm trying to convey to you. The truth be told, sometimes I may not be very good at that. Sometimes I may fail at that. And for whatever the reason, that particular day, no matter how much I felt that I was trying to simplify it and make it as easy to consume as I could, she just wasn't getting it. And so she was kind of like a little bit frustrated. I was way frustrated, because it's like, part of me is like, we're humans, right? So part of us, whenever things go wrong, we want to blame externally, right? It's like, oh, she's just not getting it. She's just, I don't know what it is about this person, right? But a bigger part of that frustration was me. I was like, no matter how much I'm trying to make this palatable, I can't. For some reason, I can't find that path. And I was just like getting irritated. And I remember I was thinking, when I was younger and much less experienced, at that time I was probably that's 2009. So I was 6 years into the game. I was almost like, oh, just go home already. Like, I can't do it. But you kept working at it, and man, she's amazing. And so it was people like her that always made my job very made it really exciting for me. Meaning that people like her could welcome guests and make them feel at home, and once she got what we're doing, once she was able to master the techniques, I mean, it's like a power hitter, like the Derek Jeter of coffee, like great hospitality skills, welcoming, empathetic, can talk to people, can make them feel at home, and can deliver them like world-class coffee. Man, what more can we want for that? I was like, wow. Our group back then was excellent. Anyway. Oh, so Brian says, 30-second ad. Before I could get to your show, I've never had a 30-second ad ever. Now that I'm listening, I want to Well, let's go get a chocolate croissant. Dismas, what's going on, man? Good to have you with us. So if you guys aren't familiar with Dismas is the original North American barista champion of the world, or of North America. And I've known Dismas for many, many years. Actually, I used to watch Dismas on videos when I first started out. Dismas was working for a company called Zoka, which is owned by Jeff Babcock. But they had released these videos, these DVDs, about coffee making. And I remember it was Dismas and Bronwyn Cerna, and I think Davidson was in there, and Stephen Vick, I think, was in them. And us guys on the East Coast, we were so far removed from the epicenter of coffee in America. We would get these videos and we'd watch them and like, whoa, look at those dudes. It's amazing. I was like, oh man. So it's a good time. But if you're looking for other coffees, Dismas has a company called That Coffee Life, or is it that or That Coffee Life, right? And you can look it up online, and he's got some really nice stuff out there. So give his coffee a try. Give his coffee a try. And Aztec says, I like you when you describe your sensory. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to find ways to like convey to you the experience, because I know it's difficult to figure that out, because otherwise it would taste like coffee. Like one of my friends, he owns a cigar company, and he's always like, all those descriptions are frilly and stupid and frivolous. All you need to do is it tastes like tobacco. It's like, yeah, it tastes like tobacco, sure, but what does that mean to people, right? Like if I think about tobacco and I think about, like that one time that I tried my father's Salem menthols, that's disgusting, right, to me. So I don't know, but it's yeah. Anyway, I am babbling on. Always to embarrass you, my friend. Always to embarrass you. What a good point. I like it when atmospheres and people trump the actual. Yeah, for me, it's always about that. Like I really found a lot of inspiration from a chef by the name of Thomas Keller, who owns the French Laundry in Yountville, California. And a lot of what he talks about in his approach to the French Laundry really resonated with me, especially in the early years. I was like, oh man, that's what we want to do, right? This kind of hospitality, attention to detail, a level of finesse. Like people would think that I was crazy. Like I love the idea of like this, for example. Here's some tape. This is what we use for like labeling stuff. And as you can see, it's a straight cut. Like I didn't tear this. Even when I'm all by myself, I still cut it with a scissors. Because that, to me, that level of detail shows that you care. Right? Like even when we're hiring people, like a lot of people come in, okay, hey, I'm interested in a job. And most people think coffee is like a simple thing, cool. It's a cool job where you can hang out and like have a good time. And it can be that. But we're also very serious about it. So, some people are like, well, why do we even do those things? Like, for example, when people would come in and ask, hey, are you hiring? So we would tell them, well, we are interested, so please send us a resume. And I got pushback from people, resume? Can I just fill out an application? No, fill out a resume. Send it to me. Because we always wanted to convey to people that we're taking it seriously. We're taking what we do very seriously. So we want you to take it seriously. Because we're taking care of people, right? Who was it that said this? I think it was Danny Meyer. He said that we're nourishing while nurturing. And that also resonated well with me, because I think that's true. We're giving people, hopefully, good quality product. But we're nurturing them in that respect. And that good quality product was really important to me. So because it's always about like, and it's not just like we're looking for nice quality coffee. We're looking for really great coffee. But everything we put into it has to be equivalent to that, right? Like even though I have this sitting here, these are samples. This 1883, we would never use this. Like this is a sample I've had sitting here probably for the last 5 years. We would never use this in service, because why buy when we can make? And I mean, like we would make pretty much everything in house. And actually, it got to the point of like the psychosis level goes a lot deeper. Like people buy vanilla extract for the bakery operations or for their kitchens. We were making our own vanilla extract. Like we would have to plan 6 months in advance, because it takes 6 months to make quality extract. So we would buy vanilla beans from a place in Kauai that's sourced them from around the world. So a lot of Madagascar and stuff like that. But really great purveyors, really high quality. Like when you open the packets of this vanilla bean, it's like crystalline. It's beautiful, beautiful. So we would use those. We would use that to make both our vanilla extract, which took 6 months, as well as our vanilla syrup, which only took, maybe a couple hours. But to me, it was always about trying to give the most we can, like even source, we would source high quality milk. Like we'd go to the farm. Like I took our staff to the farm. They're like, this is the cows where our milk is coming from, so that you can know that and you can convey that to our guests. Even the eggs. So everything was heavily like considered and sourced, because it's all part of, because to me it's all part of it, right? I always told people if I wanted to, if I had just gone the regular route of like making the Central Perk type of coffee house, I probably would have a lot more money. And Dismas says, now I'm glad we can exchange at some level. This coffee life, there we go. This coffee life. So check it out. This coffee life is Dismas's roasting operations. He roasts out of the Seattle, Everett area in Washington. I usually watch it. Nice. Yeah, care is good for the soul. I totally agree with that, Michael. Totally agree. I tell you, with attention. Yeah, Dismas, you know better than I do. You know way better than I do. Yeah, the only thing about making vanilla extract, it just takes a long time, like months. You really have to think. And and the psychosis is that we don't really want to buy vanilla extract from other people because we want to make our own. And nobody knows this. Like we don't really tell anyone. But to me, it makes a difference. And I think to our staff, it makes a difference, right? I think to the experience, it makes a difference. But, you do have to plan, like, okay, we're consuming X amount of vanilla syrup per week. So we need to figure out, okay, how much vanilla syrup do we need to make? And we would have to make it monthly, right? So that every month we would have a new vanilla syrup coming. A new vanilla extract coming to, or however long. Like sometimes it might take, maybe a big, like 750 milliliter bottle would last us maybe 2 months. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, let's go back to the coffee because it's been cooling down. They're definitely warm. Like the aromatics are very warm and inviting. Oh yeah, much better. The bitterness has subsided, getting a lot more sweetness. Still kind of medium bodied. The acidity, the brightness has toned down a little bit more. Like it doesn't have that like Asian pear brightness, right? Like it did a moment ago. That's nice. It's nice. That's a pleasant tasting coffee. Light, bright, not too acidic, not sour. The pear tone though has been diminished a lot. Like it doesn't, like when I first started drinking it, like, ooh, the Asian pear, the South Korean pear, ooh, very apparent. Now it's much more subdued. Like I want to say kind of like a persimmon-y. Although I probably haven't eaten persimmons in a while. I need to go see my mom. She's got persimmons. I'll ask her about that, or I'll eat some of that to compare. Pleasant. So there it is. The Chorreador de Café from Habia Una Vez. And yeah, not bad. Not bad. We're going to have some little more. Here we go. So that's pretty much it for you today. Tomorrow will be our very last episode of 2023. Sad to say. But I'm also itching for it to be here because there's really a lot of work to do. There's so much that needs to be done here. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I thought that I would have the lower section of the building cleared out, or at least, managed by this week. And that's not going to happen. I talked to the pod guy that's going to transport everything. He's like, yeah, we can drop it on the 15th. So I think we're going to have the pod come on the 15th, spend the last week or two loading it up, tearing everything out. Like everything's coming out of here. So there's so much. There's so much. I'm like so stressed about it. My friend was here the other day. He was like, "Oh man, you must be stressed." And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." But really, it's like I'm like actually kind of freaked, like to the point like there's mental health, not a mental health issue, but like I can see how people have mental health issues. Like I'm not sleeping. I haven't slept very well this week because like lots of stormy dreams happening. It's like, whoa, I gotta stop waking at 5:30. Like actually, I had a dream yesterday, last night, that night before, about being here and like serving guests, and I was like, holy moly, I should have like opened the cafe again. Now it's going to take however many months before we can do that again. Well, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, but tomorrow I've got a really. This one says, "Really come?" Yeah, man. When we're done, maybe you have to wait till summertime because who knows how long it will take. So the idea right now is just to secure a location, set up our roasting operations in it, and get to roasting because that's really, of course, that's the backbone of what we're doing. And then the cafe operations can come later. All right. That's at least the approach we're planning now. All right. So tomorrow for our ultimate episode of the Coffee Q&A live stream here in 2023, we're going to be bringing to this coffee from the Good Cup Coffee Company in Cebu, Philippines. And this is a farm, a coffee from a farm down in the Mindanao Islands. And this coffee is an auction lot by a place called Finca de Garces. I don't know why we're using Spanish words in the Philippines, like Finca de Garces. I don't know. Well, I mean, we are colonial, remnants of it. But I don't remember seeing like farms in the Philippines calling themselves Finca. I think that's a new thing. But anyway, this guy, and I forgot his name. I'll remember by tomorrow. This guy produces evidence. He's very new. He's like this. Maybe this farm started like now 2 years ago. But this guy with this coffee that's in this bag is what was designed. It was decided in June as the best coffee produced in the Philippines for 2023. And we're going to try it tomorrow to give it a try. So very special coffee. I've been holding it up because this is one of those that I've been thinking I'm going to make a video about it. And as video schedule goes, man, it's so like difficult to get anything timely done sometimes. But anyway, all right. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a little bit of a longer live stream today, but I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you always being around. Back again tomorrow, 10 a.m. And hope you have a good one. And see you next time.